company's priorities should be to acquire as many of the best people as they can, because the single biggest constraint on the success of any organization is the ability to get and to hang on to enough of the right people. It is imperative to get the right person at the right time. The value of appointing such a manager is important, as they will drive strategic goals of the company. The manager will have key decision-making roles and have to be good role models, as bad recruitment can damage the company's reputation and its relationship with its stakeholders. Managers should be aligned to values and the cultures of the organization, as they will be leading and supporting the staff in living the values of the organization. Simply put, the manager should walk the talk. As much as it's important to have the right person for the right job, the selection of the candidate should have a very clear selection criteria, which should be up to date and very specific to the job. If the selection criteria is not specific to the job, companies end up with wrong candidates in positions, which can have an enormous impact on the company. There is numerous costs that are aligned to that, which will be time costs, which might be through lost production time or abandoned projects. The relationships and the team morale is affected, as there is no synergy or there is a missing link because of the wrong person in the wrong job. The relationship with stakeholders might be affected from abandoned projects or from disruption of service to the stakeholders. The integrity and the reputation of the company and the selection methods are also at stake or questioned. And the cost of hiring a wrong person have huge implications to the company. We asked the HR director from Media24 what his views were on employee selection.
At our company, when a vacancy arises, that is actually the start of the recruitment process. Firstly drafted, and to ensure that the job profile or summarized version of the job description is compiled in such a way that it will attract the necessary interest from the right caliber of talent, and we'll advertise either in newspapers, online or internally in the company. After the CVs has been worked through, a shortlist is compiled, and through that shortlist interviews are then scheduled. During the interviews, a suitable set of questions are asked, and based on that process, a further shortlist is compiled of normally 2 or 3 people that the interview panel is interested in, and the person are then sent for psychometric assessments. However, this is not applicable in all recruitment campaigns that we have. Depending on the area and department, we sometimes use what we call behavioral competency interview techniques or questionnaires, where we beforehand prepare a particular questionnaire and particular questions that we would ask a particular person for a particular role. What is important is that even before you start interviewing for and using this behavioral competency technique, the panel that you use is or needs to be properly trained in using that tool. However, we also go beyond that. We sometimes use an unstructured interview technique as well. Unstructured in the sense that we allow the panel to shoot from the hip in terms of questions. The benefit of that is that you would sometimes get very interesting questions. And in my experience, I normally ask 1 or 2 questions that would take the candidate out of their comfort zone and challenge their thinking about things that is not necessarily directly related to the role we are recruiting. For me, the biggest benefit of first looking internally for internal employees to apply for positions is it allows the company to really look down the talent pipeline in their company. It gives the managers opportunity to to see skills and knowledge that they might not have known in the company, and it gives the company an opportunity to identify future managers, supervisors, and more importantly, leaders. If you want to bring about change, my advice is always keep an open mind and go and rather source outside if you want to make changes at a high level within the company, especially when it comes to leadership values. Because our selection process is not an exact science, there is instances where the process can actually not deliver the candidate that we are looking for. But this is largely due to the fact that if we draft a job profile for that position, we need to ensure that the culture, the requirements, the culture of the company, and secondly, the requirement of the position is stated in such a way that it attracts firstly the right people to apply. Because if you don't do that, you will attract a candidate that is not suitable for the role. The second thing is obviously that you go through this whole process, you think you found the right person, and as soon as the person is placed in the role, you find out that the person is not a fit for the position. So the challenge of HR is to ensure that the limited talent pool in our country is optimally utilized for that particular company. And we need to ensure that the best people is attracted to the company, that our selection processes are fair, and that our selection processes actually are able to identify who is the best candidate amongst a group of candidates that might be considered for a particular role. So in conclusion, it is important to appoint the right person in the right position, especially if you appoint someone in a managerial position, because managers have teams reporting to them. They have influence upwards in the organization, they have influence sideways in the organization. So I always expect managers to be able to show leadership capabilities, especially with their teams.